Hey everybody! Welcome to a new episode of Who's That I'm with your host Steve and Colin. It's our final episode of Pluto, number 8.
Yeah, it's
Number
hard to
8.
believe we've actually gotten to the end of this already.
Yeah, it was fairly short.
Yeah,
Well,
it's only a
eight,
month worth of content for us. So
8 hours, month, 2 months.
sorry, 2 months of content.
Yeah, because it's 8 weeks.
Yes, you're correct.
So yeah, we're here. We're at the end. We're going to talk about all the messed up things that this world has
Oh,
created,
yep.
like the teddy
Jumps
bear.
yes, the teddy bear will be spoken about.
Yeah.
Time to just jump on in, I guess.
I suppose we should probably do that. Yeah. So I'll let you start.
Oh, eight words. Do you want?
Oh yeah, describe it in 8 words. Let's do it.
I can't believe that Atom is back now.
Yes.
What about you?
This is the end, my good friend.
Fair enough.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
I mean, you did pretty well with your 8. I like that.
Yeah, I got there.
I can I couldn't remember the actual song lyrics of "This Is the End."
It's My Only Friend, the end.
Yeah, my
Is that the Doors?
that was the Doors, man. That was like a acid trip of a song because it was like 9 minutes long. It's like, "Mommy, what are you doing here?" Yeah, no, Dad, no. And it's like, oh my fucking god, what are you on?
The Doors.
It's
Between
like,
that and Riders of the Storm,
right,
it's good
there's
stuff.
the storm. And then it talks about sure like a snake or something chasing him. Oh, well, I'm sure in the song.
It's been a long time, and to be fair, my greatest I have visited Jim Morrison's grave.
Yeah.
And my only other connection to Jim Morrison, other than the handful of songs I know by the Doors, is in Wayne's World 2.
Was he in that? Was he?
Well, no, it's the guy. Like, he basically, Wayne keeps having a dream where a Native American guy will see him in the desert and then take him to Jim Morrison, telling him to put on a music festival.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. And he goes, "But did you think it was slightly unnecessary to see the crack in the Indian's bottom?" He's like, "Yes, it was."
Oh man,
Movie's amazing.
Mike Myers comedy. It that was the one where they had that roadie just kept talking about all the wild trips that you had.
No, it was the was he a band guy? Maybe he was a roadie. Yeah, that's the one he said. Ozzy wanted a brandy glass full of brown M&Ms,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or he wouldn't go on stage.
yeah.
Something like, yeah, it's like talking about like how they went into like I don't know, it's like rob a shop or something like that, and he's like, oh, they had this bloody great big Bengal tiger. And he's like, I dispatched the tiger myself, and he's like, but the shopkeeper and his son were another matter altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes. It's just a wild movie.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things on this planet, that movie. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
True classic.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Wayne's World 2. We're here to talk
No.
about Pluto.
That's later.
Yeah.
So, oh man, this episode starts off with like a tribe.
Tribe?
It's not like the history, the overview of the Nanabu,
Oh,
and it goes over like how we want all this gold, and then they all died.
yeah, yeah. We Nanabu, and then how Westerners came and said, "Look, they have shiny gold," and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" Ah, it's rich. It's fancy stuff. See here, sell us your,
Yeah,
see here.
and
And then
the
they all,
guy's like, "Hey, and something in the volcano is asleep. What could that be?"
yeah, yeah. As they all
Mm.
jumped into the volcano. Uh, and then I think it jumps to Adam in a cell, just writing on walls. Well, it doesn't write on walls, like just yet.
Isn't that like what bit's the bit? There's a bit with the teddy.
Oh,
He's like, "Hey, they're all dead now." Um,
oh shit, yeah, because it talks about that. It's saying they're all dead. All the people will have implications for Thurza are dead, and he's talking to the president of
yeah,
Caesar.
it's the Thracia. Yeah, it's
Thracia.
President Alexander, and he's like, "Oh, good. I didn't like any of them, and I was worried that they would cause me problems. This is
Yeah,
good."
yeah, um, yeah. He's there.
Uh, and
And
then
then
it's like the tribe guy, the tribal person going like, "Oh, I keep bad things away. Something's gonna come up from the earth at some point."
oh yeah, is that there's doing a tour of Yellowstone Park, but isn't that after like the weather bot uh pops up
Oh,
and goes,
maybe you're right. Actually,
"Yo, there's some shit happening underground. It's not good shit."
under yeah, you're right. Sorry,
And
that's right.
if this happens at this time, then that's pretty much the whole world going to be confiscated in
It's a super
nuclear.
volcano.
Yeah, enough cloud and ashes to cover it in, like block out the sun and kill everything, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and and then I think it cuts to Yellowstone Park where we're getting a tour because they're talking about Yellowstone Park. It's like, this is the Nanabu guy, and he's saying something, and the guy goes, "Well, what's he saying?" And the Robert goes, "Oh yes, he's saying this." So he's
It's
speaking his own native tongue. Um, but then there's a bit where,
then then it's the bit with Atom, right?
yeah, yeah, there's a bit of atom, and it basically says,
Where he's doing his mad scribbling.
"Oh well, no,
No.
I think what's his name? Tenma's left them, basically ran away, and the professor finds Atom, and he's kind of there, just like rocking back and forth because he's
Oh God, why
yeah,
am I alive?
yeah, pretty much, yeah, in the cell, uh, and then one of the scientists says, "Oh, he asked for a pen, so he wrote like the anti-bomb theorem on the walls," and it's like, "Oh my god, that's like the worst fucking
Yeah,
weapon we've."
the anti proton bomb, the most destructive bomb in the history of humankind.
Yeah, yeah, very much, yeah. Um, on the wall, and
It,
Oolong's there, and it's just saying, "Oh," and then he's like, "Get
U-
back, Oolong! Don't look at that."
Uran.
Oolong.
Oolong is from our other series.
Yeah, which song's that?
What?
What's? Oh,
The
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Dragon
the
Ball.
pig. That's the pig.
He's the pig.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
great terrible Oolong.
yeah. Yeah, he is terrible.
He is terrible. Uh, and yeah, Tenma has buggered off, but it turns out he has buggered off to go and visit Brow, who we're going to see again.
Yeah, yeah. Brown. He talks to Brow about things, and he asked him to do a favor. Essentially, can you do me this favor?
Mm-hmm.
Or does he? Or is that later? Does he go back there?
Hmm. This is the bit where they're talking about like how Brow is not in anywhere close to what Atom is.
Yeah,
And Brow knows that Atom's now alive again.
yeah. Brown
And
knows a lot of stuff about Atom being alive. Yeah, yeah,
he's like, hey, we should talk about that if you fix me.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much, you can fix me, right? Uh, he says Atom's alive, and then he also states that, and he goes, "How do you know that?" I was like, "In any of these robots, if they are turned back on, any robot of the same caliber will detect them." And then it
Yes.
jumps to the bear. It's like,
Oh, the bear.
"Oh, Atom's still alive, dude," and he's like, "What?" Yeah. And then Atom's scribbling this anti thing, and then they're starting to have a panic attack about the Earth and the thing, because the weatherbot comes in and actually speaks to the president and goes, "Yeah, yeah. If this happens, then this is going to be a thing."
Well, the other bit is that Brow mentions about how uh, did they not talk about how Tenma used Gazik's memory,
Yeah.
and it was specifically like his final moments, because there's a whole conversation about how Ochanomizu is like, oh God, if that's what's happened, and he's like, I hope he wasn't like angry when he died,
Yeah.
because that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was slightly. Um,
Yeah,
and then Atom think breaks out.
yeah, they find him. Ochanomizu finds him. It's in
Yeah.
the rain, right? And he's like picking up a snail.
Yeah, he picks up the snail, and then he has like the flashback of he's doing his duty. So he goes out and he's doing a thing where some hot guy's taking hostage of a kid, and the mother and father is there, like, "Oh yeah, give that back." And it does the thing and takes out the dude and saves the kid, and then he basically brings they all hug in, and it's like, "Oh," and the father says, "What did he say again? I'll never let you go again."
Yes.
And then Gashish just has like this moment of, I wonder what he meant by that. And now I just think of Harvey Birdman. There you go, mention it. It's taken a while to come back to the Harvey Birdman.
I quoted Harvey Birdman in this house today.
Yeah.
Because when I leaned over to get something, I did the
Oh, you got the fatty grunt, man.
fatty grunt. Was that a fatty grunt?
Yeah. Oh man.
It's so funny.
It's what was the episode that he does that? It's like, what did he mean by that?
I don't actually remember.
Certainly one episode where he just basically spent the entire episode going, I wonder what he meant by that. Oh, I think that was the Flintstone episode.
That's the crime family one, right?
Yeah, that's when it's basically The Sopranos.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you're dead to me, can opener. Anyway,
classic. But yeah, did you for a moment think that like I was watching Atom with that snail and I was like, oh, this is like earlier on, from the start. I was like, oh, he's gonna crush that snail.
Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah. So when you first met him, he picked up the snail and was looking at it, and he's done it again. This time he's studying. Oh wait, no, he's going to crush it. So I think there's no expand at this point, and Gersis, this is how Gersis gets the kid, and then you talk to the old guy who's actually the owner of a scrapyard. He says,
garbage guy,
because that's where the crime scene happened, and then it's like, I got to get rid of these dudes. It also feels like Gersis was thinking about, what do you mean by that too long? Cause it felt like the Homer Simpson bit where he's in the poker game And he's like, wait, someone says
Slow. Something was said. Not good.
yeah. And then he starts slow, and it's like Lenny comes out, comes down for like a wee midnight drink. Goes, you still here, Homer?
Here?
Get out!
Yeah, this is the bit where the ungarbled dude is like, oh, because he sees that there is still a living robot in the pile of rubble.
Yeah, he says, oh no, that's not living.
And he's like, it is. I will give you money for this.
That's it.
He gives him money.
Yeah. Takes him home and says, oh, my wife is going to love this. And then they do. So he goes over and shows them, and they're walking. He's walking. Oh, look, he's walking. And then it cuts back to Adolf's brother.
Yep.
And,
I mean, I knew this already. I knew this already.
No, man, it's never mentioned.
It's not that it was mentioned.
It was implied.
Heavily.
It wasn't that heavy.
I don't know. Like, if you're telling me is like the implication is that robots don't murder people, yet a robot had enough hatred and enough anger built up inside of him to murder a human, which they're not supposed to be able to do, had to be his kid. Also, the fact that everyone had continually talked to him about, you should think about having kids, you should think about doing this, and then the time that's missing as well, and it not just being the time where the murder happened, which would have been easier, right? Because that would have been a span of days, not months, or however long it was that was actually replaced.
I mean, yeah, you put a lot of thought into it. Yeah, I just watched it and I went, all right, and then it was like, oh, all right, which is
it was the confirmation of everything I'd thought for a long time, for like since Brando was talking to him about kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits of splicing. There was a bit where when he looked back at Adam's message and it overloaded him, and you had that bit where he's walking. I thought that was Atom, but then it kind of was Atom at the time, and then he fell away into their kid.
Yes.
And then it also, like, the killer was there, dropped the kid. It's like, oh, is that the same robot as in this thing? It's like, well, what's all that about? Oh, that's not Alm.
Fortunately, though, this is the glimpse we get, is that it's the end of it is like, because he's talking to Adolf about hatred, and the conversation revolves around like nothing good ever came from that. So
yeah,
so he puts the snail down. So as a result, the snail survives.
But it's more, I think, as Gashista's fallen down, it's like he goes, nothing good will happen from that comes from hatred.
Yeah,
nothing good will happen from that, and he falls over.
That was his final words, basically.
Yeah, and that was like, all right, cool. And then Professor's been telling him, because it's got GPS on all robots. He goes, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. He kind of forces out a smile. And then the beginning of the end is the beginning. It starts happening.
Tenma is still talking with Bro.
I think so.
I think at this point, yeah, because he's like, he's like, oh, everything, like, bad stuff will never stop happening. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he asks Brow about
do him a solid.
Where Ebola is. Like, where's Ebola? Because I need to know. And Brow tells him.
Yeah. And also he asks for a favor. He gets to touch his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And all right,
nothing weird there.
No, nothing weird there. And then that kind of ends that scene with Brow.
Yeah, because then Tenma gets into a taxi and then gets knocked out.
Yeah. Because Brow actually says to him, "Oh, you don't need to worry about that. He'll find you."
And he did.
He very much so did. Yeah, he gets
He
knocked
was
out.
right. He totally found him.
Yeah, gets in the taxi, gets knocked down, taken, and now he's on a big lift, just like in the
Yeah.
fighting games, man. The
Yeah.
vertical lift, just
I know that's not that particular section, but I've been listening to a lot of Yuzo Koshiro recently. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's good, man. That's good,
Yeah, it's
good
good
soundtrack.
stuff.
Aye, so he's gone down, and he's on to Bula, and Bula's like, "Hey, my friend, you're here," and he's like, "Yeah, well, I didn't really have much choice." His Howard's Custom's like, "Don't worry about that," and lets him go, and then they have like a discussion. And then Terra goes, "Well, I know you're a robot because I did this, and it's flashback time." There you go. There's a call back to Flames World as well.
Yeah.
So when Tim was building the robot, it would wake up. It was during the war.
Yeah, this is the one, the all powerful AI, the greatest AI.
Yeah. And he was like, "I'm getting the hell out of Dodge because it's getting way too hairy here." And
Yeah.
then Abula obviously gets hit by airstrike and is shredded and pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And he's basically phones him and goes, "I'm dying here, but can you do this for me?" Uh, and he puts him in the body of the greatest AI ever to be conceived. And
So not the robot you thought.
no, it's not Sigurd. No.
He does also wipe his memories, though, right?
Uh,
Of that event. I feel like he does, because he doesn't remember that he's that.
I think he's because the way the robot is, he isn't. He believes that he's still human. 'Cause that's how he's been presenting
Yes,
himself. Yeah,
because
I got heavily damaged in the war, and I'm mostly robotic. But
yes,
he is fully robotic because he is that.
yes,
And I think it's more the way that AI has been created because it was all about sorrow and volatile emotions, etc. And it's taken on the personality of Bula because that was the strongest personality to step out. And he believes that wholeheartedly he is. Because he then just kind of has a mental breakdown and goes, "No, I'm not a robot. What are you on about? I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot." And then
but
kind of,
he's the perfect robot.
yeah, and then he falls down, kind of like shapes this because he's also Goji and everyone, and just goes through a lot.
Yes, he's a lot of things. It turns out.
Yeah.
So
And then,
the infamous Goji that he did work on the thing with, he doesn't realize is also him,
yeah, yeah. And
which is wild.
yeah, and he wants to put himself in Bora.
Yes, his Earth changing robot.
Yeah, yeah. The robot it's once again was built for agricultural and changing the desert, I believe.
Yes,
Just like Pluto was there.
yes,
Um, and then all the time I was like, "No, I can't because you're already this, so don't worry about it." And then his AI chick gets taken away by the cockroaches, and then the big giant robot wakes up.
and now
Uh,
it's time.
and now it's time to save the world. Doo, doo, doo. And then Tim also leaves. He just gets up and goes because he's
He gets the hell out of Dodge
yeah
again.
again yeah. Well, he gets to his apartment. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's kind of the end of the world. I can't do much." Uh,
Yeah,
Atom basically talks to people, so he goes think he talks to his sister, says kind of like a goodbye to her in a not goodbye way, flies away. He goes and meets Kashi's wife and says, "Hey, thanks, I'm at home, I'm alive again. I knew your
Gotta
husband.
go.
Knew your husband." And basically lies to her about
He
like having
does.
was it a child? Did we ever have
Yeah.
a child? I was like, no, you did not.
I that's such a like it's very uncharacteristic, I think. But I think it's nice because it feels a bit like a learning of that would be they have the right to know, and would it be the right thing to tell them? Yes. Would it be what's best for them? No.
No.
Because as much as it is their right to know that, it doesn't help anything at that point. It's kind of sad. It lets her hold on to what Gesicht was. And yeah, like so again, like she had that opportunity to use his data chip and didn't, and once again, like that information was within reach and doesn't make it. So
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think it's fine. You went and said the thing to protect her more than you know than making someone up. And then she goes, "Well, you know what? I know robots can't lie, but I'm pretty sure you just did, mate." As he flew off.
yeah.
I don't know. It just goes straight to Yellowstone.
There's a lot of like I mean, we're probably best not getting into like every nuance. I feel like there's a lot to be gained. There's a lot happens in this episode. There's a lot to be gained by watching the climax of this, but effectively it is that kind of back and forth between Atom explaining that Pluto is this, Bora is this. We have to stop Bora because Bora is fueled by hatred. Pluto has gained that hatred from Ebola, like has adopted that hatred of him and of all the other robots, the AI.
Yeah.
And we have like the revelations around, who Goji is and like what the Goji's connection is to Ebola, and who Sahad is, and his turmoil as being Pluto, even though like that's not what he wants to be. He just like Bora was also, as you said, like it's a robot meant to help in agriculture.
Yeah.
And instead it's going to be like about like the death of the planet.
Yeah.
And I think like there's basically, yeah, it's this bit where there's the conversations like, well, we need to do something because like maybe the world's about to end.
Yeah.
And the conversation is like, well, like if it's going to end, what is telling people going to do? Like that's not going to change anything. So instead, like, we need to go.
Yeah. I was you got the bit with the pretty much it's pretty much confirmed that Thaser is America at this point because it has the White House and they got the Oval and everything in there, and basically has a big president meeting about the end of the world, and they're all panicking, and then what we're going to do, Mr. President, and he's led it to like talk to the bear. He turns out to be a big giant robot or a big giant brain or some sort.
Yeah.
Don't really know what it is. It's just a
no.
And
also not explained really.
Yeah, all they know is he doesn't really care for humans because he's like, yeah, that's going to happen. Humans are going to die, and that doesn't really matter though. The few humans who have left, we'll just make them slaves. It's cool.
Yeah,
and he's like, no, and you can stay here. You'll be my slave.
Yeah, And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
Shit.
There's also like a whole bit. There's a whole flashback to Darius, king, of Persia, talking to Abula, saying, "It's like, hey, uh, this is Pluto,"
Oh
and
yeah.
Darius is like, "Oh, cool. Uh, make him go and kill all those other robots."
Pretty much. That's yeah. There's like Darius is about to take his life.
Yes, yes.
And he's like, "Wait, you don't need to do that. We got this. This is going to help us. This is going to win the
Check
war."
this shit out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was like, "Quick, let's do that." And then he's in the court case with his bandaged tongue. Tongue protection, he can't bite his tongue off again. And is basically giving his rant about how Bora is going to eat the world in one bite.
Just like the song.
Just like the song, yeah. Oh, he doesn't sing it.
No, he doesn't. And then they're like, hey, there's going to be a big eruption in that national park. And basically that's going to be the catalyst to the end of the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then basically Atom flies and finds Pluto.
Yes.
And then he has like some bonding with Pluto where they stare into the sky, lie on the ground and stare into the sky and go, "Look at that cloud, that's like an elephant." I was watching one of the cynical cyanide clips, was it?
Oh, we did miss the bit where Atom goes to talk to Brow.
Oh, did he talk to Brow too? Oh, it's him that asked him for a favour, isn't it?
Yes, it's because Brow asks him about what he's going to do with the information, and Atom asks Brow about the teddy, about the bear.
Yeah.
And Brow's like, "Oh, I'll do my best."
Pretty much.
Whatever.
And then yeah.
Then actually we also missed the bit Atom goes to Gazeek's grave.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that's not where he meets his wife in that.
No, maybe it is actually, yeah, because it's the bit where
Not really not.
No, because he flies away.
Yeah.
And because the other thing is that I forgot to mention is that the reason that Helena asks Atom about having a son is that she thinks that Gazeek has remembered something about that time that they lost.
Yeah.
And she kind of knows that he lied.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is kind of okay with that, I guess.
Yeah. She reasons why. She realizes why he's lied, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll not probe any further just yet. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
They did, but yeah, Pluto and Atom are like looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
At the stars, the shooting stars.
Yeah, I think they had a wee bit of a tuffle, and then they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. I don't really want to do this no more."
he stops short of murdering him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
yeah, they both cry.
Yeah. And then Atom's like, "Well, I need you to. We're going to go in there and defeat Bora." And Pluto's like, "Yeah, you're not going to survive that, mate. You can't do that." And everyone's like that, even like the professors, who kind of knows the plan. It's like, that isn't going to work. You can't survive for like 5 minutes in there. Not enough time to do his anti-proton bomb equation or something.
Yeah, Tenma is fairly confident that this is not going to work and doesn't think Atom's powerful enough. Whereas I think Ochanomizu is more, I think we're going to be okay, maybe.
Yeah. And then But then Pluto goes in and has a big fight with Bora. Um, yeah, pretty much finishes it. Done it.
Well, yeah, Atom goes in and kind of gets head to head.
Yeah, he gets Pluto.
He he tries to tell Bora to stop.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sahad, aka Pluto, says, I'll protect you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you melt. You need to be able to deactivate Bora. So Atom sends the blueprints for the bomb to Sahad.
Mm-hmm.
And Sahad sends the bomb to the surface. Oh no, sorry. No. Atom goes up to the surface.
Yeah, he gets thrown out the surface. Yeah. Out the volcano.
And just obviously, like, this is the point where effectively what we're talking about here is that Sahad, Pluto, has now taken enough control to stop this.
Yeah.
And I think he says something like, does he not say something like, can you tell your sister that I really enjoyed
drawing with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like it's this kind of sweet moment where you kind of realize that his time in that body, that kind of robot, was more innocent. He'd kind of forgotten
who he was.
And
and
I think that's for me where it comes into the whole Pluto, the body, is causing a problem, you know, like is impacting how Sahad feels and behaves, because it's a robot created for one purpose, right?
To grow plants in the desert.
Bora was designed for that. Was that what Pluto was designed for?
I thought Pluto was the same, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was an agricultural bot.
Either way, it was converted.
Yeah.
Before he went into it.
Yeah.
So its purpose was to destroy those robots. So yeah, and then I like this because it mentions the Peltier effect, which I know about the Peltier effect because I have looked into the idea of using Peltier modules with a Raspberry Pi to create like a mini fridge.
All right.
Just for lols.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, he uses that effect, which is like a cooling effect. To wipe out Bora and himself.
Saves the explosion, yeah. He picks up his horn and arm that I think Atom is twisted off him back at the start of the fight and brings him in and magically charges him and bumps. Yep. And then everything freezes and went, wow, that's a thingy. That effect. The Peltier effect.
Peltier effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Electroboom on YouTube does a really good YouTube video about the Peltier module.
Alright. I haven't watched any of his stuff in a few years now.
Oh, there's so much time to watch him hurting himself.
Oh, yeah, that's all he does.
Yep. Mostly.
Ow. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. That's the Bora and the end of the world defeated. Time to hit the mastermind.
Atom saves Ochanomizu, and they.
Oh yeah,
that should be noted. And also they like kind of watch these auroras in the sky.
Yeah. And then it goes back to Thessia.
It goes to the bear dude.
Yeah. It's like, you're my slave now. And then the door opens and goes, who's that? And it's Brown. crawling
Yep.
on all on his body and
With his big spear still.
in him.
Yep.
And then he takes the spear out and spears people, I think.
He fucking chokes that human to death in that room.
Yeah, but he's a psychotic robot.
Yeah.
He's
And the bear's like, "Oh, cool. We should work together."
yeah. Ah,
And Brow's like, "Oh, no."
pretty much. He says something along the lines of like, you don't have the same touch as a Tenma or Atom or something. Is it? Maybe it was Atom he touched. It's like fist pump, bro.
It was Atom.
Yeah. And then yeah, destroys the bear.
Yeah. Bear gone now.
Bear gone.
And so's that guy.
Yeah.
So's Alexander. Was that his name?
Yeah, Alexander, President
Yeah,
Alexander.
he's dead now.
Yeah. All.
And then we cut to
Bro.
Atom standing next to Pluto's horn.
Yeah.
Talking to Ochanomizu.
Yeah. That's it.
He's like, it's something about hate. Will we ever be able to live in a world without hate? He's like, maybe, but I don't know.
Pretty much. I think
Seems
that's
really confident about it.
I think what boils down is the underline of this whole anime is talking about hatred and where it will take you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think that's the kind of it's a really interesting underlying thought, which is you have people who are inherently going to at some point feel that hatred and that anger, but then you have the AI, which is designed not to feel that,
but has it
but has it because it like it's in there, like there's a capacity for it. And I think that's the kind of interesting thing is like, you know, there's kind of a mixed message there, whereas that, you know, will we ever be in a world where there's not hate? And it's like, well, you know, maybe in terms of we could learn to be like more like that, but it doesn't mean that the capacity not to hate or have that anger goes away.
Yeah,
it just means that it's not out in the open.
Well, I think the other argument that Tim is always making is like you need that to be more human. Well,
it's definition. Yeah, it's I again, like as
It's
a misery vampire, I get that. Yeah, like I totally get that, because it's the idea that, you know, our you know, like our struggles are what define us and things like that. That's a lot. There's a lot of that, because everything you experience as a person is what makes you you. And I think, like, to the same point is that any of those struggles and frustrations and hatreds, they also make you what you are. But I think there's probably a lot in here about like what the core of someone is and what it drags them to be. Because the whole thing with Sahad about him being just a gentle person who loves flowers, but was corrupted into becoming something awful.
Yeah. Not to mention, but then it all kind of starts way back with the destruction of Persia.
Totally, like, and but it's, you know, that it's not a justification, but it's that idea is that it's like, well, these people have come here, they've killed thousands, if not millions, of our people, and they've hurt our family.
Yeah,
you know, we need to do something about that. We can do something about that. You can do something about that.
Yeah,
and it's that trust that he had in Ebola, as what his father effectively. You know, it's that trust he had that caused him to hear that and take that and action it.
Yeah,
and then, like I say, additionally to that as well, it's that kind of body confusion of, like, you know, being this gentle AI in that robot form into this device now refined to kill these other robots. It's like a kind of being fed the purpose and being given the weapon to do so.
Yeah, so like you got the other robots, so the ones that have fought the war, like LeBlanc.
Yeah.
He's or Mount Blanc.
Mont Blanc.
He was like went in the war, fought in the war, did stuff, and then it's like was shown to live his life in a peaceful way afterwards. It's like it's like what's his name? Bob Ross. He was a sergeant or a drill sergeant in the Vietnam War, and
shoot!
I didn't know that. And he was shouting at people all the time, and I believe but he liked to paint, and then he just decided that one day he just isn't going to shout at anyone anymore. And came Bob Ross.
There's something about that is like it's a very human thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's that. Like, I think with Mont Blanc, it's not so obvious. Like, it's all very narrative, like very say it, don't show it, because he's obviously already dead as of the first episode, pretty much. Yeah, the first kind of indication we get of that is North 2, who has that arc.
Yeah.
Which is like literally a body made to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, nope, I cover it up. I hide that because that's not who I want to be. It's not what I want to be remembered for.
Mm-hmm.
And he even says, like, he's like, I never want to go back to the battlefield again.
And the composer, who's just full of hatred, essentially, about everything. It's just like trying to prod him constantly.
Yep.
And
constantly goading him into trying to like get a rise from him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm not going to be that person. And that's kind of like the start of it's kind of showing the better side of Earth, and then it's just slowly just going downhill.
It's the descent, like, because that's the thing is, like, obviously the like Atom is a well developed character because he exists right throughout the whole thing, and like I think for what we get of North 2, he's really well developed, and then we go into Brando and Hercules, and they have their own motivations, but similarly it's that realization that, you know, they don't have that in them.
Yeah.
It's not what they want. And the same for Epsilon, who never wanted that.
No, never.
And yet was forced to get involved.
The humans just thought, oh, it's a bunch of like scrap metal.
Yep.
Cool metal.
Just zero feeling to it.
Yeah.
And then, but I think like the character arc for me is that the one that just drives it all is Gesicht, because it's just so. I just really love everything about his character, because it shows you the past, the unfeeling, uncaring, the inability to like empathize at all. Like, I mean, obviously we're talking about an AI.
Learn, essentially, even like to the point where he got the kid, because like say it's like the guy goes and says, "I'm never going to let you go again, son." He's like, I wonder what he means by that.
Yeah, like it's that thing, and it's the jump from that scene where he sees what is an incredibly emotional moment of family, not understanding it, but then seeing that small robot struggling in the scrapyard and knowing what that meant.
Yeah,
like almost instinctively knowing that that's what that feeling, like, he's like connecting the dots is like, this is the moment.
Yeah,
is like this is the thing that's what that was about.
Yeah,
he does know what it's about eventually.
Yeah, because he does say it to his own son as well. I'm never going to let you go, son.
And like the whole character arc and the tragedy of losing his son, and then killing that guy and having his memory wiped, and the mystery behind that, and how Atom like we're never sure if he knows at that point or not, because we know that there's something. He knows something has happened, because he feels like he says something like he's like what happened to you? How terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and of course what we assume is that it's in relation specifically to that scene, but not why it's in relation to that scene. We think it's about the murder, and it is, but it's not about the murder of Adolf's brother. It's about his kid.
Yeah. But he didn't know. I mean, he probably does know, but then at the same time, because he didn't know at that time when he said that, right?
No. I think that's the thing is because I think they address that in the cafe, in the bit where they're eating, because he talks about how advanced Atom is by comparison to himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like when he ingests the data chip that he's able to, like, because he has those scrambled memories.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Atom's able to go doot, 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 and like pick out all the bits and just put them back into place in his head.
Yeah.
So that he can see, because he does say to him as well, he's like, I think you and your wife are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And but you're like, that's a weird thing to say, but like, I get it. Like, because obviously, it seems like that we've seen that it's not simple for them, even though they seem to be like, happy or happy-ish. They've definitely had struggle. So,
Yeah.
but that whole bit through to, like I say, his death scene, I think, is just so incredibly well shot. Like, the whole thing is just really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And probably one of the most impactful things, as well as like the fight scenes and things in that episode too, like him showing like his full potential and the run up with Adolf and stuff like that, and like that character growth from the I could hate you, but I don't. And Adolf's character growth of having been saved by the thing he hates.
Yeah, I don't hate you anymore. He does say
yeah. And it's that's what Kasich has done. He's made that change in the world. So I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I love the narratives are really well weaved. I think it's a shame. I think you could probably have done more episodes, and spread out a bit. But I also appreciate like people you have a limited budget and you want to like keep it at a very high consistent level right the way through. So 8 episodes is like, it's pretty good. Maybe you could have eked out another episode in there, but where do you take the hit? You don't want to lose anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like they didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
But it means that there are, like we've said throughout, there are some episodes where it is more difficult to follow. This is not difficult to follow. It's just there's a lot of things
happening,
coming to a head. Like it's all in the same narrative. It's just they're all like coming in like Lego pieces fitting together finally. It's good. It's cathartic. I feel like the only thing that I will say is like I still don't think I'm really clear about the bear, but now he's gone, so who cares?
I don't know. The bear is like they're I think he's like the puppet master. The puppets. So like say in the previous episode,
about Geppetto
and Pinocchio are being controlled by somebody else, and it's the bear, it's the mastermind it all. Really, not ability isn't really in control, and because Thursday also has an interest of getting rid of those powerful robots.
Yes.
And that bear, I think, is essentially the one that's pulling all the strings. Even maybe to the point where they went to war with Persia, because they were like,
of course,
oh, we didn't find anything but dead bodies. That's cool. We'll just go to war anyway.
And it has a lot of parallels to, the war in the Middle East.
Oh yeah,
with America,
Iraq mainly.
The Iraq War.
Yeah, because I mean,
that all started out with trying to find weapons of mass destruction that may or may not have existed.
Which didn't. I believe, is the conclusion after all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all been but 100% proven at this point.
Yeah.
But
And not to mention that, what's the name? The leader of Persia.
yes,
He
Darius.
Yeah, he did. If he slapped a beret and like some army
Oh,
garb on him, he could probably pass as a cartoon character of Saddam Hussein
yeah, it's definitely drawn its influences from
from that
real
war.
life events in
Yeah,
terms of that structure. But I think it's
but
there's a lot for 8 episodes. I think this is really quite thought provoking in terms of what it is to be human, what an artificial intelligence is.
mhm.
And I think like I'm sure we've said this many times throughout. It's like, but it often feels more that the AI is more human than the human.
Yeah. Well, I think they certainly are showing more compassion
Yeah,
than most humans did. But
you're totally right.
and that's another thing. That's like I say, it was the underlying arc of it is essentially negative emotions of mainly
Hmm.
hatred, like the war. Bill wants to avenge his family. Well, he said, I think that's what he thinks anyway,
Yeah.
and then there's been high peaks where like they're showing that these robots have grown out of it and managed to forgive and live, take their life forward. Like we said, and then you also had like the hatred movement for the anti-robot movement, which kind of ceased
Hmm.
to exist after like the cease. But
Well, I guess they probably still exist and they will do, but I think the important inflection point for their narratives was because of who Adolf was
mhm.
to Gesicht, like that very specifically.
Yeah,
Um,
ah,
but I think it's an incredibly thought provoking series. It's made me want to read it. So I'm considering picking up the manga
yeah.
to go through it. Um, it's yeah. Uh, what do you rate this last episode then, Colin?
It, it's good. It's good, man.
Yeah.
It's there. It's got the action. It's got the conclusion. It's not like
Mhm.
I was like they all hugged and like forgave each other, and the world was happier again.
No,
Uh,
it is that like it's a good ending. Like
yeah,
it's a more positive ending, but I think you're right. It's more nuanced than that.
yeah,
It's a good out of quite a significant amount of negativity.
yeah.
Um,
It shows that you can overcome it. Basically, Atom is the catalyst of all that because he's obviously got severe negative emotions at the start of this episode.
yes,
And I was like, oh, is he just going to wreck the world? Is he just going to take it all down? And then he comes and goes, you know what, hatred isn't worth it. I'll just pack that away
yeah,
to one side and get on with it, and uh, I'll see what I can do. And then he meets Pluto when he gets angry again and starts beating him up. And then it's like, oh wait, no, he's just a scared kid. Um,
yeah.
Maybe we'll get bygones and bygones, and then it's the other guy. So it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm done with it too. Let's do it.
But yeah, because underneath, I think that's the thing is like you say, the underlying theme of everything is just this vein of hatred that runs through the world. Like
Yeah,
there's always a an outcome driven by somebody's hatred.
yeah.
And it's reminiscent of the world that we live in, I guess, to a degree as well. But
Oh,
it,
it's there.
it's just interesting. I think like it's an excellent thought experiment. It's really well written. It looks
Hmm.
lovely. It sounds lovely. It moves incredibly.
Yeah,
I think there have been written very compelling characters as well.
yeah,
Like I said in the very first episode, I think North 2 is maybe one of my favorite characters in this whole thing, and he's not in it for very long.
oh, he's only there for half an episode essentially, even
Yeah,
less
like
than
he's
that.
maybe 25 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But
It's good.
it
It's good.
it's really effective.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably give the finale a 9.
Yeah.
I think I like that it wraps. It really does feel like stepping stones getting through the end, where it's like all building to that point.
Mm-hmm.
The information is becoming, available to you, and the blocks are clicking into place. And
Yeah.
the only thing I think is it like I say, there's just a lot going on. That's tough. And then the other thing is I'm just still not sure what's going on with the bear. So there's a little bit of kind of confusion there. From what I've read, I think he features more heavily within the manga.
Yeah, because the bear started showing up. I mean, he showed
episode
up
5.
Yeah, end of the episode 5 or something, and he was like,
and then not in episode 6, in a little bit of episode 7.
Yeah,
and then in episode 8.
No, he was in episode 6 too. So I think it was episode 4,
was episode 6,
then 8,
7, 8. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay.
7.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't in 7 at all.
It's just weird.
Yeah, he was just I think if you read the manga, I think you might find that he, like I say, he's the overall controlling factor of everything. Because this one also started with like the whole Naboo tribe, didn't it? With the giving the gold and stuff.
Yes.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What's that have to do with anything?
I guess that was just historically talking about the.
I assume that's just talking about like the greed of people and how it leads to their folly, essentially.
Yes.
Is
very much so.
Narrative there, which is essentially going by what we said about what the war was based on, would essentially equate to oil, I think. And Richie's there.
Point.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. I think it is like I think if you hold up, like, if you think about like high examples of like just things you would hold up as in high regard of like, if you're saying to someone like, why is anime good? Like, I always go to like the basics of things. Like, it's like, well, Akira is like my go-to. It is like, it's such a cliche, but it is so incredible in everything it does.
It's good animation.
And Ghost in the Shell is another cliche again, but there's a reason people talk about it in that conversation in the same breath. Is, what it is, what it does.
The series is meant to be better.
I have not watched any of the standalone Complex, and I haven't watched any of the sequels either. I've only ever watched the original. So I might need to watch it at some point.
Standalone Complex is meant to be good. It gives time to iron out the characters, because all the original Ghost in the Shell is, I would say, it's more of like was it the first anime to use computer generated graphics in full?
Yes, it was a lot of style and not as much substance.
Yeah,
which I think was forgivable because of what it was achieving. Whereas I think cool. Akira is more of an amalgamation of a lot of style and substance.
Story in Akira isn't that well.
Just because it's crazy doesn't mean it's not good.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's all squished, and I don't think it didn't really represent the manga either. Well, I've
never read the manga. I've never read it, so
it's certainly different because I read the first volume ish.
Yeah. But those are the things I would talk about, like when if people were saying, it's like, what do you think are like the high watermarks, and obviously stuff like
Fist of the North Star.
Probably not Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star.
But that kind of thing, and I would dare to say, like, if someone was to ask me again, what I would say is a high watermark for anime, I would definitely put Pluto in that category of just it showcases, I think, everything that's good about the medium.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, it's decent, just like Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to watch that again. It's been so long.
Oh, not the series. Don't watch the series.
No, I'll watch the movies.
Because the series overplays You're Already Dead by episode 5.
I mean, what I do want to do is, like, if someone hasn't already done it, but they must have, is just watch a supercut of You're Already Dead.
You're already dead.
I'd watch that.
I'll find it. It'll be there.
I really enjoyed my time with this.
Yeah.
I know that we have some other plans. Do you want to talk about our plans for next stuff? We could. Like, I mean, it's going to be next week and then the week after, so we might as well hint at it, I guess.
Yeah, so obviously, as the norm for us, we're going to break and do a bit of a palate cleanser, as Steve calls it. And I'm introducing them to Read or Die, which is like a weird anime X-Men thing.
Yes, it's I think I might have watched some of the series years ago.
Yeah, the series I thought it was all right, but the OAV was the one that certainly came out, and it's pretty cool. I liked it. It's got end of the world shenanigans going on, and people with superpowers.
So yeah, we're gonna watch the OVAs of Read or Die.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move on to something.
Kino's
different.
Journey.
Kino's Journey.
Yeah, which is another potential thought-provoking journey, because I think every episode is different.
I mean, I don't know. I've never watched any of it.
Yeah.
And we should clarify as well, as we're watching the original series.
Yeah.
Not the 2017 series.
Yeah.
So the original series is from 2003.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that first.
So yeah, we'll be starting that not next week but the week after.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite good. It's kind of on the same exploration as Pluto, but does it in bits.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Essentially, well, you'll see. You'll see once you get into
Yeah,
it.
I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that leaves it to say you've been listening to Who's That Anime, an anime podcast about anime. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. If you want to support the show, you can do so by giving us a review. That would be super cool. If you can't give us a review or already have given us a review, another awesome way to support us if you would tell a friend about the show. That'd be really awesome. And if you want to support us financially at all, you can. There's an opportunity to do that at patreon.com/Who's That Anime. There are a couple of different tiers there where you can get early access to episodes of this podcast or episodes of our other podcast, 5 Minute Fusion, which is a 5-minute episode journey through all of Dragon Ball and beyond. Really having a lot of fun with that show. Mm-hmm. So gonna hopefully you'll join us in that too. We have a Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post all the latest episode releases and the occasional meme or things like that. We have a Discord channel. You can find the link to that in the show notes. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who's That Anime. This is where Colin painstakingly puts together all the video versions of these episodes. Mm-hmm. You can also find the RSS feeds for the podcasts, both of them, both Who's That Anime and 5 Minute Fusion on YouTube, if that's where you'd like to listen to your podcasts. Colin and I occasionally like to play some video games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can find archives of all of the stuff from those Twitch channels at youtube.com by searching for @couchfuel or @hailpayman.
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
That's it.
We're done.
Wow. We did it.
We did it. We made it through Pluto.
Crazy.
Or Pluto made it through us.
Sure. Sure. Why not?
Juggling. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, man. Oh, now I think of Clown College. Anyway,
Homer, the section you're monitoring is on fire. Love that episode.
Clown College? I ain't going to... what's that all about?
That ad didn't affect me at all.
No, not at all. Oh, dear.
Love it.
Yeah. Right, anyway, that's us done. Let's do it. Let's get out of here.
We did it.
So
Yeah.
we'll catch
Thank you, everyone,
Yeah.
for joining us on this.
Yeah. And we'll catch you next anime. Same place of anime. And yeah.
Same time of anime.
Same time of anime. Yes. That is the end of the thing that I usually say. Yes.
Yep. These endings are definitely getting more abstract.
Yeah. Let's try and work out what to say. Apparently. What am I saying again?
Bye.
Bye.